Sorry, I was on mute. Sorry, guys. So I was just waiting for more people to come into the room. What I was trying to say, I was on mute before. Sorry, guys. What I was trying to say before was you saw the title of this. I don't know where I'm going to be going with this. I know what I have in mind as far as what my intention is as far as a campaign or an awareness or something like that. Um, so it may end up being a little bit of a rant. It may not be. I'm not trying to make it be a rant. Not trying to have it be a rant or something like that. But I just feel like at this point in time, being on YouTube, it's probably around 5 years. I'm in my fifth year now. I'm well into my fifth year of being on YouTube and being a content creator. um, Towards the end of the summer, I'm going to be into my sixth year of being on YouTube. So I've been around the block, and I have probably, I don't know, 2,500 videos or something like that out there. So I've been around the block. I've been here for a while. I've probably been here a lot longer than a lot of people are on YouTube. Some people don't even last this long, but it's been fun. It's been a real great ride for me. It's been an enjoyment for me. I mean, I'm doing it's like a hobby that I'm kind of just doing, making something more out of. And I'm at this point as far as being creator that I feel like not just with this live, but in general throughout this year, I want to kind of give people a background as far as where I am, where I came from, how I started this, and ultimately what my belief and my stance is on being a content creator. Being content creator in our field of blade craft, of sword craft, of knife craft, and what I think would constitute a complete and detailed video that I think the viewer would get more out of. I'm going to visit the chat here and there, guys, if you have any questions or whatever it is. Yeah, there are two different camps. Oh boy, addict, I hear you. Let me give you a background first, and then we'll attack that as far as the users and the type of content creators in KnifeTube. My background is from cinematography and photography. I have been a video producer. Pretty much, I grew up as being a video producer and a photographer in the pro-end video production. I've grown into it all my life. It's been my lifetime craft. In fact, that's my trade. That's what I do. I wish I was doing something else, but that's neither here or there. That's a decision I made a very long time ago, and this is where I am. And I am very good at what I do. Unfortunately, there's not as much money as I would like it to be as it was in the past, but that's neither here or there. But this is what I do. I'm a video producer. I'm a professional photographer. That's what I do. So at the time and I've always been into blades. I have been into swordcraft, more swordcraft than knives from a very young age. I mean, like a lot of you guys from the 80s ninja movies with the swords, not so much anime, but Conan the Barbarian with the sword and all the old sword movies and adventure movies that we grew up with. It became part of me, and I just grew an interest in swordcraft and in forging of steel and things like that. And it's been growing with me from a young age up until now, and that's always been with me. But then pandemic hit. Fast forward way in the future, pandemic hit, and obviously the first of the jobs that had to be shut down was my field, because we couldn't be around people. You couldn't be around crowded dance floors. You couldn't be around convention halls. You couldn't be around the places where I would need to basically be able to do production on my line of work. Okay. So that was completely shut down. Within a day, boom, stay home. Can't do anything. No work. Everything canceled. Everything moved. So obviously I was going stir crazy. I needed to keep busy. And I don't know how I discovered sword content on YouTube. And I was never really one that watched YouTube before. But obviously, because there's nothing else to do and you're home day in and day out, and you can't go anywhere with the pandemic, I just started adapting YouTube. I mean, and I don't know how it came about. I started seeing sword content. I'm like, wow. I mean, uh, people are actually purchasing and using swords and reviewing them and showcasing them. I'm like, damn, wow. I mean, and I've said this on many times, many other lives, many other videos. Matthew Jensen was one of the first people that the first sword content creator that I seen, and I think it was about a span of 2 weeks when I first started watching him on YouTube. I must have watched about 80% of all his content. Seriously, I mean, just constant chain smoking, like a chain smoker, like chain watching all of his freaking content. And I loved it. I couldn't believe that swords like that are actually available. That how many more companies now than 5-6 years ago, a lot more grew. The industry grew a lot, but even back then, Hanwei, Ronin, there was a lot of companies that are producing real use weaponry, real use katana. I'm like, holy crap! I didn't even think you can even get that, because I was like back then I was in the assumption you could just get like these, wall hangers, these like stainless steel wall hangers unsharpened to pretend like it's it's like pretend play, But and that's what introduced me to it back then, and I was like, wow. Then I'm like, I saw how he shot it, and I'm like, you know what? I have an interest in this. I could do this. I can definitely do this. I was able to acquire maybe like some cheap swords that were real, and started doing, and it just from there it just went, and I started producing some really good content, and I started hooking up with the right people in the sword industry and with Matthew, and started doing lives, and then I met Scab, and then I started getting into working and being in the knife community, but I started with swords. But the way I approached sword content or sword reviews back then, flying off the handles and going into friends' stomachs. Yeah, that's a very horrible thought, but yeah, back then, they would just cosplay. I mean, it was just cosplay shit. It really wasn't meant to be really used and stuff. But the ones that were meant to be really used and were actual weapons that were meant to cut with and practice with, I didn't know there were so many practitioners that practice this stuff, I knew that not only number one, I approached it in a very professional manner. I approached video in a very professional manner, because that was my line. I didn't know any other way to do it. What's up, homie? What's up, homie? How you doing, buddy? Everybody in the room, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for hearing me rant out. I don't know any other way to do it. So I produced professional quality work. I produced very professional B-roll, professional high res detailed views with professional lenses, professional cameras, lighting, sound equipment to produce a high-end production, in my videos. I did that from really literally the first video I've ever done. That hasn't changed. I've gotten better, more accustomed to being in front of the camera, even though I'm never really that comfortable in front of the camera still. But from the first video you can date back 6 years ago, you'll see a professional production, probably even more glamorized back then. I made them a lot. I've been making them more simple through the years, but they were even more cinematic and glamorized and effect rich, back then. So it's nothing that basically I developed as I was YouTubing. I've always done professional productions. But aside from the way I approach the videos, when you're showcasing or reviewing, see, I never really call myself a reviewer. I call myself a showcaser. I feel like my videos are more than reviews, they're showcasing. I'm showcasing a product, because it's not just reviewing it, because I'm not trying to sell you anything, guys. Understand that. I'm not, a shopping network where I'm trying to sell you a product. You guys ultimately make the decision. I'm just sharing my experience and passing that along, and hopefully you can get something from it. That's really all I do. Or at least I intend to do, even though I do sound like a commercial sometimes. I admit that. I talk a lot. But as far as usage, when you're reviewing, showcasing swords, showing it is not enough. Now, of course, listen, if it's a Nihanto and it's a very precious Japanese sword, centuries old, you're not going to be using that. You're just going to show it and show the beauty and the artistic manner of it. But we're talking about swords that are meant to be used, that are not Nihanto, that are not supposed to be just preserved and just looked at. So these particular swords, like the ones behind me here, it's not good enough just to show the sword. It's not good enough to, I mean, of course, you got to show the fit and finish. There's a lot of pieces of making up a sword video. Fit and finish, put together, how everything's put together, how it disassembles, how it's put back together, how the quality of the fittings. There's so many artistic elements of aesthetic wise and build quality wise with a sword that it goes far beyond showcasing a knife. It really is. It's a different animal altogether. If you're doing it the right way, that is. Yeah, I mean, there's people. I'm going to get to that, Titanium. I'm going to get to that, Justin. Hold that thought. So beyond that, you have to show the sword work. It's all about performance and how you wield it, how it feels in the hand, the balance, the cutting ability, the longevity of it. If it doesn't fall apart after cutting with it, what you can and can't recommend it to cut with. Different geometrics that have different ways of being able to use it. Some swords are light and nimble that are meant to be swift trick cutters. Some are meant to be robust cutters to cut heavier materials. The list goes on, and then you have to convey what type of weapon or what type of sword you have in your hand by using it, by cutting with it. So that's something, even though with my lackluster cutting ability, even till today, I've come a long way. I do a lot better, but even with my lackluster cutting ability, I still was intent on producing videos with real usage of swords. And that's what I did. And that's where I am till today, even doing sword videos today. That's what you cannot. I mean, I piece it. Sometimes I do a fit and finish video, but for the most part, I don't conclude my opinion or review or showcase of a sword that I get as a sample, or if I purchase, which I haven't purchased one for quite a while, many years rather, because I've been getting samples, thankfully, knock on wood. I don't conclude any type of video, any type of insight of what a sword should be or shouldn't be without giving it real use. It just doesn't happen. You won't find that on my channel. Okay. That being said, I met Scab on YouTube. And don't ask me how. I think Donnie B all day, Scab. I mean, a lot of these guys that were doing really well in the knife realm. And something that I clicked with Scab with very quickly. And again, I don't speak for Scab from Choir Boys Outdoors in this video whatsoever. He has his own mind. He can tell you his own thoughts if he has any thoughts on this at all. I'm not including him on any of my thought process within this live or within this movement or discussion or campaign that I'm supposedly starting with or whatever the case is. Okay. So it has nothing to do with Scab. I'm just explaining to you how Scab fits into my history on YouTube. I came across with him doing it with the knife reviews, and he was all about using your shit, using your stuff. Okay. He wasn't about the fit and finish. He wasn't about basically how it looks. He'll tell you basically, I like the look of this, or I like the feel of this, but he wasn't. He was all about usage. And I clicked with him because I'm like, you know what? This is my kind of YouTuber. I like to see somebody who's physically using their stuff, and not somebody who's just getting it and just showing it. He's never been about showing it. He's always been about usage and real usage, because he's a working man. He worked with knives all his life. So, but that's his story. He can tell you that. So I clicked with him because I believed in what he believed in terms of the value that you can get from showcasing a knife and using it, and how, as a viewer, I think you can get so much from living that with them and saying, okay, this is how this knife is going to handle itself if I take this with me on a camping trip and I process wood, or if shit hits the fan, it's an emergency, and all I have this knife, is it going to fall apart on me if I try to baton with it because I really need to process wood and I got nothing else? Can I strike a fire with it? Does it have a 90-degree bevel? Is it something that I can rely on? Is it corrosion resistant? Is this folder, if that's all I have, is the lockup going to be good enough? Is the edge retention going to be good enough? Is the steel going to be good enough to handle the elements, to be able to save my life or work with me? Is this knife going to be good and a durable knife if it's labeled as self-defense? Is it going to be good deployment, great sharpness, and great ability to basically maneuver? These are just a minute amount of questions that somebody may ask besides besides just showing the knife. You know, you're going to want to know what these elements are within the knife. Showing it, if I could just, I'm going to talk about this knife. If I just basically show you this box and say, look at the packaging, look at materials, I have a lot to talk about with this knife because that I'm gearing towards this review that I did of the Polaris XL. I feel like how Scab approached the knives is how I felt like I needed to approach my swords, even though I go far and above any other YouTuber out there, and I give you a mixed bag, and I give you a lot of detail, a lot of B-roll, and the specs, and the close-ups, and all the stuff that I do in terms of fit and finish and aesthetics and shit. I give you a masterclass type of review and showcase of whatever I'm showing you, because I give you every possible detail I can give you. I give you back history on the steel. I give you back history on the designers. I give you back history on the maker and other things that they do, and my opinion on the maker and the genre of the brand and stuff like that. Is my videos are jam packed, man. Especially with a company I've never dealt with before. That's just what I do. You know, I'm all about basically giving you that cinematography approach and that detailed approach in showcasing a product or showcasing the feel of the product. You know, aside from just showing it, I use it. And that's why I clicked with Scab in that manner, because we believed in the same thing. And then from being with Scab, I developed a love for knives, a love for all bladed weapons at that point. It's always been about swords, but knives are amazing. I mean, Bowie knives, all these different type of geometrics that date back centuries. You know, like swords. I mean, knives were just as essential of our history as anything else, as the swords are. They were just a different, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, you have swords and you have knives. You have short swords, you have knives. They were just different bladed weapons that had been used since the beginning of time for us, you know? So with that newly developed love for knives, I started hooking up, networking with Scab, and then he approached me about doing a blade show together because we had a really good repertoire, good understanding of each other, and I think we were very similar in terms of how our outlook on how we present of our videos, or how we present ourselves in our videos, or present the products that we're showing on our videos, you know. So we clicked and we started doing blade talk together. We had like a little north. We still do have a north and south vibe. You know, the North Yankee and the southern accent. It was just, you know, like it was a nice vibe that we had, that we brought to the table, being two different personalities from two completely different backgrounds in terms of how from different areas that we live in the country, you know. So it was kind of cool, and people really clicked, and it just became a very successful show. And from there, I started networking with many different knife companies, with all the American knife companies, pretty much everything from Medford to Emerson to Tops to K-Bar to not Buck. Buck is a little different. Cold Steel, especially now that Luke is involved, and it's been pretty much a great ride since then. Now, how I approached my blade videos is how I approach my knife videos. My stance and belief up until today, and what I'm leading up to now, my belief and stance in producing and showcasing a knife product, you need to show the detail, the fit and finish. That's all important stuff. Talk about the specs, your opinion, how it feels, the detent, the action of the folders, yada, 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 yada. But I don't feel that you can really get you can't really. If I was watching one of these videos, it's only about it's about 3/4 of that left, of the most important part of that video is left out. You can never gauge what the quality of a knife is if you don't physically see it carried and see it being used. Cutting paper with it is nothing compared to basically giving it actual use, especially fixed blades, without a doubt, especially fixed blades. Everyone has a different niche in YouTube in terms of the knife community, in terms of what they do. And I respect that. And that's the beauty of YouTube, is because you could go in and cater your channel the way the hell you want, and nobody's going to tell you any different. And if you get viewers and they're going to watch it and you get an audience from it, YouTube will push you. And that's the beauty of YouTube. It really is. The freedom of it is excellent. I hope that never changes, because YouTube is probably the last, among others, but YouTube mainly is probably the last, what am I going to call it? The last source of information that you can stream and view as you want it that's not regulated by the FCC. For now. For now. For now. Hopefully that never freaking changes. So because it's not regulated, we have freedoms that network televisions and these big companies have over the people that work and run programs for them, especially with politics. That's why politics blew up on YouTube on both sides. So same reason in the knife community and the sword community and the bladecraft community, everyone's able to kind of run their channel and show what they want. And I respect that. And I'm not belittling the hand puppets, as I call them, in terms of the overhead cam and just showing the knife and showing it compared to the other one and showing how good it opens, and look at the T8 screws and the T6 screws, and look at the titanium and look at the steel, and look how it can cut paper. Oh, it's awesome. It looks great. It looks awesome. Holding it up to the camera and then freaking calling it a day. And that's fine. That's important. There's value in every video, but not value for me. Because if I was shopping for a knife, that's not enough for me. I need to see it used. I need to see what the knife is made of. This is important. I need to know what the knife is made of, aside from the materials that it's assembled with. I hope you could understand that. That's a powerful statement. What the knife is made of, besides what materials it's assembled with. I need to know what this particular knife is going to do for me, how long this knife is going to last for me, what I can cut with it, how long I can cut with it before I got to maintain it. How's it cutting geometric? What can I get through with it? If all shit hit the fan and it was an emergency, can I rely on this knife? Is this knife going to fail me? Is this knife going to be good in my area because of a high humidity? How corrosion resistant is it? Is the blade coating going to come apart on me with some usage? Can I cut materials I would not cut with a knife if I'm stuck in my car and I need to get out? Okay. Or if a family member, God forbid, a friend or somebody's stuck and you need to help them out. Can this knife that I have, can I rely on it to basically do things that you won't normally have a knife do for you, and then also still be able to last, to be a knife that you can rely on? These are questions that can be answered if you only decide to take that extra step and physically use the knife, or at least carry it a while and say, listen, I've used this for a certain amount of days. I've done so this, that, and the other thing, at least something. And that's where I feel like a channel like mine, a channel like Scab, Squire Boys Outdoors, a channel like Donnie B All Day, and among others, Missouri Survival, there's a lot of you guys out there, man, that actually do use your shit, and you can relate to me. But there's also a lot of people who don't. Now, this is the conundrum that I'm in. Not only do I basically go out of my way to really produce an amazingly high quality, high-end video, my production value is off the scales. I mean, I'm a pro producer. I mean, you're getting professional, quality content in terms of even the equipment I use, the lenses, the high-res lens optics, that you're able to really see everything in extremely high detail. Besides that, and the production aspect that I put into it, I really break my effing ass using the knives. You got to find cutting materials. You got to get tatami mats. You got to soak the tatami mats overnight. You got to tie them up. You got to prep them. You got to prep your cutting stands. You have to get all your ducks in a row before you could even approach using your sword or your knife or something like that. You know, I have sections in my backyard are dedicated to like cutting materials, wood that I basically split up that I'm going to go back to and show carvings, sticks that I'm going to use for tri sticks. These are my destructive materials. This is my destruction videos, and this is what I'm going to use here. There's so many different things that I have to kind of allocate in order to do the real usage that all of these, God bless them, I love them, but I have to call them hand puppets because that's what they are completely bypassing and not doing and feeling like they'll never be able to, they'll never need to do it because they have not a piece of YouTube of the knife community. They have an entire pie. They get a shit amount of views pretty much doing nothing but showing the knives on a table in their hands. And it just annoys the crap out of me that they're getting the lion's share of the views. I mean, people might look at me and say, you're jealous, you're envious. I mean, I'm kind of just, I feel like a little underappreciated from the viewer choosing to watch. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be watched, there's value in it. But I think that we're not appreciated. People who go out of their way to really use their stuff are not appreciated as much as the people who don't, because I feel like that aspect of our reviews, of our showcases, are the most important aspect of showing a knife or showing a sword, because there's no way that you can feel like how, there's no way you can know how that knife is going to perform when it's in your hands by just hearing how, you know, what steel is on it and how the screws are made and how it opens and closes, or how balanced it feels in your hand, or how good it feels in your hand, or how comfortable or uncomfortable it feels. You're never going to fucking know how the hell that damn knife is going to perform when you really need it most, by not seeing it work, by not seeing somebody work with it. Let me go to the chat for a second. Alex understands about camera setup. I mean, not to mention camera setup and time. Yeah, I mean, just even setting yourself up with the lighting and the microphones and everything that goes along with shooting something. I mean, the production wise takes a lot of time, even beyond usage of the stuff that you have. Just showing it takes such a long amount of time. I mean, and I do this on my free time, guys. Work is first and foremost most important for me, paying my bills, and I do it on my downtime. And I'll spend sometimes 3 to 4 days on one knife or sword review, because I'll spend one day doing B-roll, maybe a couple days doing B-roll, doing in different locations, probably 2 days doing production, and probably a day to do post-production. I'll spend many days just doing one video. Do I need to do that? No, because people just go in and just shoot without editing and they'll get a ton of views. But I don't believe in that. I believe in videos on YouTube should be professional. If you're going to present something on YouTube professionally, it should be professionally. That's my belief. A lot of people don't believe it that way, or they're not able to, and I'm not going to knock anybody who doesn't. That's just how I feel, you know? I try to be a full blade content. I try to do swords and knives, so at least I can kind of, and this is Jay Davis, I'm kind of answering your question. It's I'm probably in fact, I am an oddity. In fact, what I do, I can challenge you to find somebody who does what I do. Nobody on YouTube that I found does full-fledged professional and detailed sword videos as well as knife videos. Some people have swords and knives, but they excel one over the other. They'll probably be a knife reviewer and then just throw swords in for the mix and show them cutting or something. But they won't ever really give you a full-fledged sword video or detailed sword review like they do with the knives. I give you the same dedication and quality and detail and thoroughness in the presentation in both swordcraft and knifecraft. I challenge you to find somebody who does what I do, because I don't think you're going to find it. So if that messes with the algorithm, I think it should be probably push me in the algorithm, because there's not many people that do that. So I would say it should help my cause, and it should help me get out there more. Okay. Because nobody does what I do. So it's like somebody basically reviewing a freaking a washing machine. Let's just hypothetically say nobody reviews washing machines. And there's one guy who decides, I am going to review a washing machine, and I'm going to show you how it washes and how it does its clothes. And nobody does it. So that person is probably going to blow up because nobody else does it. So the fact that I'm doing something that I don't think anybody else does, I don't think should hurt me. It should help me. But that's, neither here or there, Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm totally off, but that's what I feel. It is, and that's one reason why I wanted to get into the knife community, because also it's kind of easier doing a knife review than a sword review. Sword content is tough. It's tough to make. It's tough to do it the right way, if you're going to approach it the right way, that is. Knife reviews take up less room, less time, and they're less involving. And it is bigger, and you're able to get samples a lot easier than getting sword samples. So it's more abundant in terms of the industry able to get samples and be able to review many different types of brands, because they're a lot easier to come by than swords, if that makes any sense. But yes, the knife community is definitely way bigger than the sword community, without a doubt. I agree with that. Yeah. YouTube is very strict about not mixing formats. But I'm not mixing. It's not like I'm doing cats and fucking cats and swords, I'm doing blades. It's still all blades. If I'm talking about a shorter piece of steel and a longer piece of steel, it shouldn't be that big of a difference for the algorithm to be so confused. It's still fucking blades. They still cut. They still cut things. I still use them. I still cut things with them. Whether I'm doing a sword review or knife review, I'm still cutting shit. I'm cutting the same water bottles, same tatami mats for the most part, same cutting stands, same stump that you'll see in all my videos. It's not like the algorithm should be so confused because I'm doing two totally different genres. It's still blades. So I don't see that much of a difference between being a sword reviewer and a knife reviewer. There are differences, but I don't see to the point where algorithm is going to get fucking confused and shit. There's different sizes. That's all it is, man. Oh, TikTok sucks, Mike. TikTok is they don't like my stuff. You know how many videos I got taken down from cutting stuff or showing swords and having a knife in my hand? TikTok fucking sucks. Screw them. I don't like TikTok. I never went back to TikTok. After a couple of my videos went down, I'm like, nah, this is not for me. Yeah, it's just not for what I do. They're very strict with their policies. YouTube's a lot more casual when it comes to that stuff. With RVA, yeah, he could tell you the same thing. He does a lot of TikTok stuff. It's not easy to show to do our content on YouTube, on TikTok, because you got to you can't repurpose your stuff that you're already showing shorts on TikTok. You got to completely do something new. And I don't have time for that. I really don't. If I can't repurpose the one video that I did on YouTube as a short on TikTok, then it's not worth my fucking time. Instagram is okay. You can share things on Instagram. They're not like TikTok. Even though Instagram is a little bit more touchy with the music, but with short reels, it's not a big deal. Every time John goes live on RVA, they get shut down in about 10 minutes. Yeah, I believe it. Especially when he's doing his cutting videos. Of course he's going to get fucking shut down on TikTok. Of course. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely and shit. So, this is my conundrum, guys. How many people have gotten in the room? 15? Yeah, whatever. Okay. This knife here, this is the Polaris XL, nice box, elite series of knives from Off Grid. Thank you again from Off Grid for sending this over to me for review. Here's the Polaris. This is a high-end knife. All right, let me see if I can do this without this mic being in the way, okay? This is a high-end knife. You got T8, T7 screws. You got carbon fiber liners. You got titanium, two-tone with the titanium, reset screws with the PVD coating. I mean, this is top-notch. Jimping, titanium frame lock, smooth titanium, bolstered and chamfered belt clip, rounded up, goes into the pocket, soft and easy. I mean, this is a quality knife. And along the fact with the movement and the detent is just beyond worldly beautiful. Amazing. Vanex steel, which is probably equivalent to Magna Cut, an amazing steel, incredibly corrosion resistant. It's just a top-notch knife. It really is. The Red Dawn is my favorite, Mike. So this Polaris Excel, I did a review on this. Another tuber, and I won't name names. Another knife tuber did a review on this, and he didn't just get one knife; he got all three of them, which is about over $1,000 in retail price. This is a $350 knife. He got all three of them because he's got almost 1 million subscribers. Whatever, that's fine. I understand that they're going to basically they're going to want to take advantage of the spread that they get these channels. Okay. Regardless of the fact he got the three, that's fine. Even though I really wanted the Red Dawn, but I understand where the company's coming from. Okay. I did a review on this knife. Now, obviously, this is a $350 knife. This knife is a knife that you are going to need to really talk about the materials, the steel, how this thing is built, the ceramic ball bearings, everything, how everything is butter smooth, and the absolute high quality build and materials that this knife comes with. That will cost you $350. You need to talk about that. That's important. And I did some overhead shots because those are good shots to be able to get a good up close and personal view. But my videos are all a combination of many different camera angles. I do overhead, I do front camera, I do voiceovers, I do close-ups of cutting. I do all types of angles. I have a multitude of different types of compositions on my videos. But yeah, I do overhead shots. It's not like I don't do it, but that's not what my videos are made of. That's not the genre of videos they are. But I digress. I also decided I needed to do a high-end detailed video talking about the specs and the background of Vanex steel and explaining what Vanex steel comes from and explaining why this is an elite model and why it costs what it costs and how it feels and how it's balanced and how the build is and everything about it. That's important. And that's just I didn't even watch the other guy's video because I knew what I was going to get and I wasn't interested. Didn't get value for me. He did the same thing. He had all three of them, put them on the table. I'm sure he spoke about the supreme quality of the details, how it's probably better than he thought it was going to be. And, everything about it, everything about the quality of the build and the quality of materials and how high end and pricey these things are and why it costs the way it costs. Okay. Maybe he opened it up and closed it a couple times and told you how butter smooth this thing is and how the action is probably some of the best action you're going to find in a knife in this price point. Maybe he told you that too. Maybe he even cut some fucking paper and showed you how sharp it is out of the box. Great. But you know what? That's it. Stop there. It stopped there. 10-minute video of just showing you how good it looks and how good it's built. 10 minutes of just talking about the fiberglass, 10 minutes of talking about how nice the steel looks, 10 minutes of talking about how good it opens and closes. That's it. That's it. That's what the fuck it is, Clip points are awesome. Yeah, this is a beautiful clip point. So, and that's where it ends. Now, the injustice, and I'll compare it to my video because I don't give a shit. I'll compare my video to anybody's fucking video out there. I don't care how many followers you have, okay? I'll compare my video to that. And I'll show you that I did everything he did. I did all the details because that's important. It's important. Don't get me wrong. It's very important because you need to know what you're paying for. All right. But I do it even to like a $20 knife. I'll show you the details and show you what you're paying for. It doesn't matter to me. But especially on a knife like this at this price point. Okay. If you're to stop there, what you're not going to get from the experience of this knife from Off Grid, and you'll never know, if you never watch anybody else's video, you just watch this one person's video showing you on a tabletop of, the hand puppet type of thing, you will never know exactly how effing tough this knife really is. You'll never know that the lock is so powerful, it's so well made that you can physically baton with it and the lock will last you. Not that you're supposed to baton with a folder, but you'll never know how strong the lockup is. You'll never know how good or not good the edge retention on this Van Eyck steel is. You'll never know basically how weather resistant it is. You'll never know how great the coating is if you're not going through like abrasive materials that should remove the coating off a knife. You'll never know basically how good of a cutter this is. You'll never know if you had to basically have this outdoors and in an emergency, or if you're camping with it and you need to kind of whittle wood or make up a tri-stick, you'll never know that this knife can do that. You will never know what a tough bastard fucking knife this is if you only watch that one person's video. Okay? If you bought the knife just basically on aesthetics alone, that's enough for you. But if you're a person that uses your stuff and you're not just, the collector, you want to know that this knife is going to be your work knife. This knife is going to be a knife you can use every day, and it's not going to fall apart on you. And it just doesn't just look pretty. This knife can actually perform. And you'll never know that because it is an off-grid knife, it is actually a very well-made, tough knife that can be really used. And it's not just going to be something you're going to put in glass and just admire if you only watch that one person's video. That's my point. That's my point. He got thousands and thousands of fucking views from just doing that for 10 minutes. And I put this video out, and I broke my ass doing this video. And I put so much detail and so much usage in it, but it won't get the viewership that video got. That's the imbalance. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And I want you guys to kind of take that in and understand where my stance is. Not that anybody has any right. Everybody has every right to do whatever they want with the channels. And there's a place for everybody's fucking video. And I have respect for anybody who has the cojones and the time to basically, and the willingness to go in front of the camera or put their hands in front of the camera and spend the time to do what they do. I respect everyone that's a content creator because it takes a lot of time and effort to do what you do. And I respect you all. But the fact that the viewership is so low on channels like mine and the spread is so slow, when we do what we do compared to what others never approach ever, and they'll get the lion's share of the thousands and thousands of viewers and followers out there, and we don't, and I'm still at around 5 years in trying to get to 10,000 subs, there's something wrong there. There's something not fair there. There's an injustice there. There's something that's not right. And that's basically my point. This is not a one video I'm going to do with this and then talk about this again. This is a campaign that I'm going to continue. I'm going to make shorts about this, and I hope people join me on it. And I think it's an awareness we have to spread of using your shit. And I think it's up to the viewers to demand YouTubers to use their shit. To question, but okay, the knife looks great, but how does it work? I mean, have you carried it? Have you used it? How does it fucking cut? I mean, is it going to fall apart on me if I have to use it for work? Is it going to be a good work knife? Do you even know? Can you even answer that question for me? I think viewers and commenters need to ask those questions. And the fact that they don't ask those questions and don't put pressure on these YouTubers is why they keep on doing what they're doing without any repercussion or any challenge whatsoever, because people just line up to watch their videos of just being hand puppets. Listen, I may lose subs over this. I hope I don't. I can't hurt them. They're monster channels. If anything, they can hurt me. I can't hurt them. I'm just giving you my American right and my YouTube right to give you my opinion and my stance of what I think a showcase of a blade should be, and what it should include, and what should be important. Warranties are important. All the information on a knife that a buyer or potential buyer should know, from the details, the fit and finish, to how it actually works, is all fucking important. Is all important, man. I'm not trying to let them gaslight me. I think it's just, I think it's just, you know what it is. Sometimes you gotta take a break and take a beat and talk about the industry a little bit. And you got to talk about your concerns and how things should be better and how things should be improved. And I think that's important to get things off your chest. You can't just kind of just go with the flow without challenging the system a little bit. And I don't know if it's about them about me allowing YouTube to gaslight me on it, more than just challenging what everybody's belief in what something should be, when it should be so much more and it's not, in so many different channels, you know. Whew, spoke my ear off, man. I've been on for almost a fucking hour. Any thoughts on this, guys? Yeah, a lot of companies, HSL Salt, a lot of companies. Thank you for your support on my channels, buddy. I really do. I really appreciate that, man. Um, Mike, did you just say I don't understand, Joe, or I do understand, Joe? I didn't understand that. Oh, you don't understand about why it is. Oh, I got it. It doesn't make any sense. I almost wonder if they're getting suppressed on YouTube. I don't know, man. I really don't know what the situation is. But yeah, a lot of companies are basically sending their knives and their materials to these big channels that have hundreds of thousands of views of subscribers because they want to get the reach, but they're not really getting anything back in quality of really, conveying what their knives are. I mean, a company like Orphic that's built on tough knives, or a company like Cold Steel that's built on the toughness of their knives, if you're just showing it as a hand puppet and you're not physically using it, you're losing the whole aspect of what they're selling. Voice crack there. You're losing the whole aspect of what they're trying to sell to the customer. You cannot review a freaking Cold Steel knife without putting it through hell and using it. You just can't. Not all of them folders, not machetes, but the heavy duty folders, a lot of their fixed blades. You can't review them and showcase them without fucking using them and putting them through hell a little bit, because that's what they're selling. They're selling a tough use, hard use work knife. And if you're not going to use it that way and show it that way, you're losing the whole point of showing the damn knife. So by Cold Steel or a company like that feeding these companies that have all this reach, and they're not really getting anything back in return in terms of a review, in terms of a showcase of their product, because they're leaving the most important aspect out. That's my argument, man. And listen, like I said, there is value in everybody's channel. I just feel like my belief is the people who use their stuff don't get. We should all get viewership. I think everybody that breaks their ass and in this play community should get the pleasure of getting a lot of subs, people that sub to everybody's channel, because there's value in everything. Okay. I just feel like the people who use their stuff don't get as much attention or due credit and do spread on YouTube and viewership as they deserve, because they work so much harder on running their channel when you're using your stuff, as opposed to people who don't. That's just my belief. Again, I don't down or put down or say don't watch those channels. That's my only belief, is that people should use their stuff. It's just what I feel like would make for a full review. And the fact that we do, and channels like mine or Scabs or Donnie's, among many others, use their stuff, we should get a really good amount of viewership for that reason, because there's not many people that do it. And there's channels with, again, a million, hundreds of thousands of views that don't. And they're just getting people just glamoring and lining up to, watch. They'll get 3,000 views in an hour. It's probably a lot, but some do, and it's insane. I could get 3,000 views in probably like 2 months. You know what I'm saying? It's nuts, man. It's nuts. It's nuts. We're going to continue this. I spoke a lot, though. No, I don't think anybody's physically against me. I think it's just a matter of viewership is just so much stronger on the non-use non-users channels, and I just don't understand why. And listen, I would go as far as saying, and I'm not naming any names. I can see a pattern, and I would go as far as fucking saying, and no accusing anybody at all. I would go as far as saying that some YouTubers are buying views. Some YouTubers are paying money every month to promote their videos and getting into other algorithms because YouTube does that. YouTube tries to sell you promos. I'll never agree to that. I really don't, because that's artificial for me. The companies watch channels. I wish they would all choose me. Some do not. I don't think. I think more people watch lives. Yeah, a lot of people watch lives. I got to do more lives. I know I do. I don't know what I'm getting from this live other than maybe frustrating a couple people, maybe losing some subs. I mean, I'm afraid to see my fucking sub count and see I freaking drop like 10 subs or some shit like that. It's a mixed bag of being out there, and I understand that. Maybe I don't do enough of it. I mean, I don't think anybody is out to hurt me. I know that. I just feel like the amount of work that I put into my videos is severely underappreciated, and it's not noticed enough, and it's not noticed by viewers enough, and it's not spread enough for that reason. I know the way the algorithm works. I mean, you got to get enough viewers, enough engagement for the YouTube to say, yeah, this video is probably pretty good quality. Let's spread this out more. It's so criminal that you could put the same short out from a full video remix, and the short will get 3, 4, 5 times the viewership than your full length video that you spend so much time on from the same just a clip from it. And that's just the way YouTube works. That way shorts works. You know, it's nuts. I know I'm complaining a lot, guys, to sum this up. I love YouTube. I really do. I think it's a blessing. It really is. It's just a wonderful thing. I love the knife community. I love the friends that I made. I love being a part of it. It's an amazing thing. But there's always that dark side of it that people are afraid to talk about. And I'm not afraid to talk about it no more. I'm at the point where I've been on this for so long that I could just fucking walk away from it too. I don't even care anymore. I'm looking to grow, and I want to grow my channel. But if I had to walk away, I'll walk away. I'm at the point where if I can't speak my mind and speak the truth to you guys and speak to you what I feel like is right in my beliefs and tell you my beliefs and my opinions, then what the hell's the point of me being real to you if I can't have lives and videos like this where I can tell you this is what I think it should be? Maybe we should challenge the system a little bit, you know? How's it going, Bushcraft? It's been a minute. Yeah, man. I'm just ranting over here. I don't know how much you've been in the room. I know a couple of people joining me with shorts, because I am broadcasting on a short and widescreen right now. The beauty of StreamYard, you're able to simulcast on both, which is a beautiful thing. I love it. But yeah, it's been a while. How you doing? How you been, buddy? James, how you doing, buddy? And that's it, guys. So listen, I spoke a lot. Do you have any other questions before I close this off? I'll take a couple of sips of coffee. I'm going to do this again. This is a campaign that I'm going to continue throughout this year. Where I'm going with it, I have no freaking idea. We'll see. But I do want to spread awareness about using your shit. And if from this point on, I'm going to put a hashtag use your stuff. And that's going to link to this campaign. It's going to be hashtag use your stuff. I want to say shit, but we'll keep it proper. We'll say use your stuff. That's going to be the hashtag that I'm going to put on this campaign. And if you have anything that you want to tag me on, tag my channel and also do the hashtag use your stuff. So we all go in the same mix, hopefully. I don't know what else user stuff is. I got to put the hashtag in, user stuff. Let me see what comes up. I'm just curious. Use your stuff. Use your stuff, hashtag, what comes up? Facebook, use your stuff. TikTok, use your stuff. There's some videos named use your stuff. One video says use your stuff makes no sense. I got to watch that. I got to see why he thinks using his stuff doesn't make any sense. That should be fucking interesting. Anyway, use your stuff is going to be the hashtag. Hashtag use your stuff for this campaign that I'm going to be engaging with. Starting off, kickoff will be this live, and maybe the short that I put out today. I'm going to be doing shorts here and there, hashtag use your stuff, maybe give you a little tidbit of something, and we'll do lives. And if anybody wants to join in with me, feel free, please. Feel free. The more the merrier. If you're like me and you break your ass and you do a video like mine and you really go out of your way to fucking use your stuff and you see people getting thousands of views not doing it, and it's like an incomplete video as far as you're seeing it too, by all means join up. But again, I'm trying to make it as clear as possible. I am not by any chance telling anybody not to watch anybody else's video. You watch whatever is valued to you. My only objective here is to let you know what I think should be a video should be made up of, and how a showcase of a knife should be or a sword should be, and how people who do use their stuff should get a lot more credit than they're getting. That's about it, guys. I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over again. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. I thank you guys for your demeanor and for being understanding. Even the people that I am kind of singling out in the chat are being very courteous and very kind and very cool. And they understand that I'm not literally trying to attack them. I'm just attacking the system, the viewership that's a little off and not fucking fair. That's all I'm attacking. I'm not attacking the YouTubers themselves. I'm attacking the system and the viewership that's not that's unbalanced and not sound and unfair. That's all I'm saying. Likes are free, subs are free. Exactly. Everybody should sub everybody in the knife community. YouTube's not giving you any favors. We got to do it for ourselves. We got to help each other out. That's the God honest truth. So that's it, guys. So let me know. Share this live. Share my hashtag. Make a video on it yourself. Talk about it if you want. You know, let's join up. Let's see if we can make a movement here. Let's see if we can really build up this campaign a lot more than it is. Just to let you know, I am doing a live tomorrow night on my channel, and also going to be broadcasting on Scab's channel, Quiet Boys Outdoors, and that's going to be a blade talk with Scab and Joe, and that's going to be a video where we're going to basically talk about some some swords and knives and things that are coming up on our corresponding channels. Talk about some things that we reviewed already, maybe revisit them, and just kind of shooting the breeze together about blades and stuff. I might touch upon this with Scab. I'll see what he thinks if he wants to talk about it. He may have he always has a great opinion on everything. So I'm actually seeing what his opinion would be on this topic. I mean, I may probably follow up with this on Blade Talk with Scab and Joe tomorrow night at around 8 o'clock Eastern time on this channel, and on vertical and horizontal. And also on Scab's channel, Quiet Boys Outdoors, is going to be simulcast in 4 ways. 2 shorts on his and 2 widescreens on both mine and his as well. Michael Ghost. Cold Steel has gone downhill, but I do like collecting their swords. I use my knives, tools, but I do see a few knife reviews that just show a few H32s, a butter knife, and can be used as a tool. Gideon Gideon is but he does use his stuff though. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna become a sellout of a little bit when you start getting that big of a channel and you get sponsors and shit. That's just I won't call it a sellout. It's just about making it a business after a while. I mean, I can't knock them for that. I mean, when you're that have that much of a reach and you start getting brands that are sponsoring your channel, you could kind of look at it as a sellout, or you could look at it as a business opportunity to make yourself some money, because everybody breaks their ass on YouTube. And if you can make some money and a living out of it, why the fuck not? You know, why the hell not? You know, I don't knock them for that. I want to be there one day. I want to be able to kind of make money to the point where I can fucking retire with YouTube and just make money on sponsors and associate links and shit, and generate an income every month. I would love that. I will walk away from everything I fucking have now and just do my pro production and do full-time YouTube. But I can never do that until probably ever. Not in the rate that I'm going at, man. Not in the rate that I'm going at, for shit sure. But listen, I've never went on this thing, maybe in the very, very beginning, but after the first year, I have never approached this and letting people understand that I am not trying to grow something with this. And I'm not trying to, get myself to a point where I'm making some money with this. Even if it's a pipe dream. I mean, I do want to grow this into something, because we do work on YouTube. We don't just do this for fun. We spend time and effort and have expenses and things that we need to use and buy to use on our channels, to cut with, to cutting stands, everything. You know, the list goes on and on, man. You know, the butter knife is underrated blade. It definitely is. It definitely is. It definitely is. I got to go back to the butter knife videos, man. Those are funny shit. I hope I get there soon too, Mike. But that's it. So I'm going to conclude this here, guys. This is the kickoff for the campaign. Again, it's going to be called hashtag use your stuff. Hashtag use your stuff. That's what I'm going to put on any video or any short that I do from this point on that's going to be related to this campaign. And please don't forget Blade Talk with Scab and Joe, with Scab and myself tomorrow on my channel and Scab's channel, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Good talk about a whole bunch of blades and knives and stuff that's coming to the channels, and a lot of swords that I still got to review from Cass that I really want to talk about again and let you know they're coming, because I've been really far behind on doing swords. I got a lot of swords to review. Great problem to have, right? Yeah. So that's it, guys. Much appreciated. Let me know your thoughts. Do your videos. Tag me in it. Let me know you did a video around this campaign. I would love to see it, and I'd love to see people joining up with me. Have a great one, guys. Much love to you guys. Thanks for everyone that supports me. Thanks for everyone that follows my channel, that watches every one of my videos, that supports whatever I put out. And your viewership is gold to me. I just wish I had more of it with the 8,000, almost 9,000 subscribers I have, but that's not a here or there. We'll talk about that another day. Knife. Yeah, Zakuri profile sword to try. Not yet, buddy. Not yet. Not yet. I've seen it, but I have to see if I can request it as a sample. That's not a very common profile. I'm going to see him a lot of the custom builds if I can find that profile, but that's an interesting one. It definitely is. Have a good night, everybody. Much love to you guys. We'll continue this another day. Short, live video. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts. Ciao, guys. Love. Peace. Go watch everybody's video, man. Not just mine. Go watch everybody. Subscribe to everybody.